I just longed Bitcoin, guys. I'm gonna talk about why I just longed Bitcoin 2 hours ago and where I'm gonna take this long to, and why I think Bitcoin right now could actually bounce really hard. I'm gonna explain to you guys why we are at right now a massive support. So let's get right into the trade and also the current TA on Bitcoin. Let's start on the higher time frame because we just opened a new monthly candle and a new weekly candle, as you can see. So I've explained many times how important this area of support, which is at $107 to $100,000, $110,000, as you can see. I told you guys on the higher time frame, on the daily time frame, we must hold this area of green zone support and resistance line. As you can see, this is a massive critical area to be whether long on Bitcoin or waiting patiently for a nicer bounce before getting into trades. I saw Bitcoin yesterday give us a nice fake out. I'm gonna explain the trade I took, but before that, let me right now explain to you why $107,000, the level we just hit in the morning, is very crucial. Because if you go to the daily time frame and you use a tool called anchored VWAP, which is basically a tool that uses volume to give you an average price of an uptrend. So basically I've put this tool, as you can see, this line which starts from the uptrend or we had from our since April. As you can see, 8th of April, I think that was the bottom on Bitcoin at $74,000, as you can see. And then you can see if the uptrend is still intact or not. We basically, once we see a hit of that line, we can either expect a bounce, hitting it and then having a bounce, as we saw last time we traded that level. As you can see, we faked out the anchor VWAP, hit $100,000, and then we actually bounced greatly. Or we can expect something else which is breaking that, and then we can expect this bull trend to be lost and to be broken. However, we can always long that hit of the anchored VWAP, because as you can see, last time we longed the anchored VWAP hit, we actually got the best trade in the past 2 months, having a great long entry at $100,000, because everybody and their mothers expected Bitcoin to be losing $100,000 and then going much lower. However, we had the idea of faking out everybody under $100,000 and then getting back above that level to get a nice long trade. And also this is very similar to why I tried long in Bitcoin today at the second hit of the anchored VWAP since 2 months ago. As I told you, as you can see, if I go to the lower time frame, to the 30-minute time frame, let's remove the green zone, we can see clearly that we've just hit the anchored VWAP, I think in the morning at 8 a.m. Dubai time. As you can see, we clearly had 2 touches very close to the anchored VWAP, but we clearly didn't quite touch it, as you can see, I think on Saturday. However, in the morning on the open of the weekend, or the weekday, sorry, we saw just how great of a bounce or a hit we had on the anchored VWAP. I saw this fake out, so I had the idea of longing, but I needed a better confirmation. So what I did, I just watched for Bitcoin to be going up, and then I waited for a fallback or a drawdown, as you can see, for me to get a better confirmed entry. So if I go to the 5-minute time frame, as you can see, I saw, as I told you, Bitcoin hit the anchored VWAP, faked out these lows, and then I had the idea of, yes, I should be looking into a longs. Then I waited patiently for Bitcoin to break 108,000, and then I used the volume profile tool. If I put the volume profile tool among this range, as you can see, we can clearly see that we have the point of control at $108.3 thousand, and we also got the fib retracement tool taken from the low to the high, which we put, I think, at 12 p.m. as you can see. So I was waiting for a level or something like that for Bitcoin to hit 108.1, 108.3, and then for me to get a much nicer long confirmed entry, rather than longing the exact low. I didn't long the exact low, I just waited for a much better confirmed long, to be honest. So as you can see, this actually played out perfectly. I started the long as a scalp idea, however, I just took some profits, moved my stop loss to entry. I'm gonna keep holding this level maybe for much higher on Bitcoin. As I told you, right now, it doesn't mean us being into support, meaning that you should be longing Bitcoin blindly. However, you should be getting into the lower time frames and then finding some key areas or support or some confluences to get into a long trade. So I think right now you either wait patiently or go to the lower time frame and try to scalp Bitcoin, because one of these scalps either win big or lose small. So I think technically I feel that Bitcoin is at a good level with a good reaction right now if we hold $107,000. $100. We just need to break 110. Breaking 110 could actually confirm us bouncing from this green support zone and then probably going higher. I think the most important and critical zone or resistance to be broken if we bounce from this area is at $114,000. Thanks for watching, guys.